Welcome to Rauta's review. Today we have a really interesting, kind of a unique, one-of-a-kind metal release here. This album is all about the number 7. But let's get back to that in a bit. First, let's do a little bit of unboxing of this French release by Monolithe. So, this is a digipack release, pretty nice looking. In fact, I think Nebula Septem refers to the number 7, as you can probably figure out. And this is the threefold digipack release, what we have over here. To sum it up in one picture, here it is. So the cover, the back cover, the inside cover and the back cover here with the track list. As you can see, 7 songs, and there is an interesting detail in that as well. Here's the CD, and here's the underneath of the jewel case, a lineup with 7 musicians. More info here about the recordings and all that stuff. And as you can see, there is no booklets, so everything is basically here. I was lying about the booklet because I didn't notice it earlier. Sorry for that, being stupid here, but that's how it goes here. So here is the booklet with 7 songs, lyrics, and they are in English, so pretty much everybody else can read it except me because I'm so dumb for that. So when I'm talking about 7 songs, and 7 being the number here, that is true here because 7 musicians creating an album filled with 7 songs, and each lasting exactly 7 minutes. That is no second less than or more than 7 minutes. That is 49 minutes total, as you can pretty much do your math. And the thing here is that this is their 7th album, so it's all about number 7 and numbers in general. Also with these tracks here, all these songs kind of start with the first 7 alphabets here, A, B, C, and that forth. So this is kind of a concept album taken to a next level, so to speak. There are even more of these 7 notes on the Western scales and all that stuff, which goes beyond my knowledge and maybe understanding, but you get the idea. Number 7 plays very important part of this album, and so it's a 7 as a review score, or is it? Now, this album is an interesting concept, like I said, and it's a nicely packaged one. The music is kind of a doom metal, not funeral doom maybe, even though it has been labeled as a funeral doom metal band, but more like doom death. It's not as heavy and maybe not as slow as those funeral doom metal bands usually are, but there are clearly some similarities between those bands in the genre and this one. To me, however, this album kind of refers more to bands like My Dying Bride and The Sword. So clearly not traditional doom, not exactly funeral doom, but kinda this gothic, or at least very dark feeling, and the atmosphere being this kind of a dramatic. Now there's lots of synths on this album, and that is something that kind of balances this so-called death metal-ish view or side of the album, and it's kind of creating this atmosphere this album so gravely needs. And that is because the riffs are exactly not the type of masterpiece stuff. I think the whole concept on this album is somewhat restricting the idea how these songs are or have been composed, and how the whole album is made of. The thing is, while this album is pretty solid, it's well produced when it comes to production. I mean, the sounds and vocals and all that stuff being rolling and sort of, and these keyboards kind of build up the whole atmosphere. There's still something that kind of feels that it's missing from this album, and I think that is those great riffs which so often make the album worth listening to. Now, this is clearly an album that is for listening to, but even though I gave it quite a few spins, I constantly had this feeling that it should be something more, something bigger, something deeper, something that would just, give me this crushing feeling that I fall in, love with it in like a desperate way. But now it is like, okay, sex. It's like, yeah, I had a fun time, but I don't know if I'm gonna get back to this. I don't know if you get my idea, but the thing is, this album is like filled with promises. It's gorgeous to look at. It's nice and kind of easy even to listen to, but it still leaves too much space for to get better. Kind of lacking something magical that actually makes albums, well, magical. The kind of stuff that you want, keeps that yourself glued to that album. The kind of material that you want to shout the whole world that get this album this year, something in that respect. But nevertheless, this album is pretty good in doom death or funeral doomish subgenre. So if you're into that kind of stuff, most definitely give this one a listen. At least now you know that about this album. This band, Monolithe, is not very well known, even though they have been around for a while, and this being their seventh album, it's clear that these guys are no newbies by no means. But nevertheless, still, I kinda hoped for more, but this is what we got delivered. Still, nice album though, so check it out and give me a comment. What do you think of it? Thank you for watching, and as always, should you like reviews and other channel materials, please click the subscribe button and keep this channel going. That is all from me, and I guess see you next time. Stay metal.